Well, Elizabeth Correia grew up in one of the roughest sections of downtown Toronto, where she daily witnessed the struggles and hardships that women face often there. From this vantage point, a desire was born to reach into the lives of hurting women and inspire dignity and hope. And that's just what she's doing. Elizabeth, welcome to 100 Huntley Street. Great to have you here.
So good to have you, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Now, you grew up in what could be the roughest part of downtown Toronto. You witnessed a lot of hard stuff, and actually you lived through a lot of the hardest stuff that a little girl could live through, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I was born and raised on Bleecker Street, which is in St. Jamestown. It's in the Regent Park core area. And I am one of 4 siblings. My father was a professional musician. He was blind at birth. And we grew up in a very abusive household. Abusive in every way. There was, physical, mental, sexual abuse. And due to that abuse, I left home and was put into foster care when it was my 13th birthday. So yeah, it was a lot of pain and a lot of struggles, but we, the kids stuck together and we had a lot of fun on the streets, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So what was it like for you in the foster system? Did you kind of bounce around a lot into different homes?
Well, it's the foster system then is what led me to be a foster parent today. I did bounce around between a lot of homes, probably over 15 within 6 months of leaving home, and it wasn't a lot of the homes, most of them, only one, were not homes that were
Warm and loving.
No.
And so when you were on the streets, as I said, you really experienced everything the streets have to offer, as far as, I think by the time you were 14, you were really heavily into drugs.
No, I was selling the drugs.
Selling the
yeah,
drugs.
I know.
Selling
Which
the
one's
drugs.
worse? But
Yeah.
yes, I did. By the time I was 14, shortly after I left home, probably within 6 months, I started selling drugs, and I sold drugs probably up until I was saved.
So you didn't take the drugs?
I've never touched a drug in my life.
You sold the drugs?
Yes. Yeah.
So that was your survival mode when you were
It was.
on the streets?
It was my survival mode. I was happy on the streets. It was where I found love. It was where I knew.
But you really experienced the destructiveness of the streets as
Everything.
well.
Yeah. It's kind of all together in one ball.
Yeah.
Love, hatred, betrayal, death.
Speaking of death, talk to us about the time that your boyfriend at the time actually died in your arms.
Yeah. I was 22 years old, and I was dating someone, and I called him my angel then, because he came and kind of took me away from a very abusive relationship that I was in, starting at 14 up until I was about 20. And I was with him for about a year, and he was murdered in front of me, and he died in my arms. It was due to road rage, yeah.
Road rage.
Road
my
rage, yeah.
goodness.
Wow.
Can't imagine all that was going through your mind and your heart and your emotions as something like that happens. What kind of effect or impact did that have then on your life?
Well, I think at that point, I didn't understand why me, kind of. I didn't see it as why not me. It was why me. And I just, I went into a pretty severe depression. Nothing where I had to take pills or medications, but I was very sad, and it was a very low point in my life, and I didn't understand why this person came and saved me from what I was living and now had to be taken away. So it did lead me to, his family led me to Christ through his death. So
Isn't that true for so many people? It's when we get to the lowest, darkest place in life that really the light of God's love shines the brightest and rescues us. And since you've allowed God's love to just shine in your life, you have done some amazing things. reaching out to people who are in the same situation that you were in back then.
Yeah, it's amazing because we truly, when we're on this journey and we experience depression and abuse in all forms and death and losses, we don't understand at the time while it's happening. And it's not until later in life that you see that your calling is actually in those same places, working with the hurt, the prostitutes, the drug addicts, the homeless. It's the hurting people. And it's not until you're in that position where you think, wow, I experienced all this and this is why I can do this.
And so you're reaching out now to people. Talk to us about D.e.v.a.
D.e.v.a. Okay, so D.e.v.a, by the way, is it's spelled D.e.v.a.
Yeah.
And growing up, a lot of my friends, I was into fashion, and a lot of my friends used to say, "Such a little diva." So when I thought of starting this company, I thought, I love the word diva, but I want to change the letters. So I used the E, and it stands for divine, exalted, victorious, angelic. It's not what I claim to be. It's what I'm striving to be.
And you also reach out, so this is for reaching out to women. You reach out to homeless, the street people. You have a project called Project Blanket. I think we have a picture here of something where you're reaching out.
Yeah, that is Ernestine and myself. We are the founders of this program, this outreach program. Project Blanket, it's a project every year for Christmas, and a few times a year we go down and we hang out with the homeless, or we call them our buddies, our friends. We feed them, we clothe them, and we just spend the whole day with them. We don't just do that and leave. We spend the entire day.
Now, I think we have a quick family picture before we get to the story of the health challenge. And so let's have a look and tell us who we're looking at here.
Who is this?
This is to the right side of the screen. That is my younger brother, my baby brother, Sonny. I raised him for about 7 years in his teens. That is myself there beside him, holding the little doggy. That's my mother, God bless her. And that is my stepfather, Carlos. That's my 4-year-old in the red t-shirt, my captain. We call him Captain. My sister, Susie, she was my angel that God came through on the morning of my surgery. And that's her son, Lucas, my nephew.
So you brought up the surgery.
Yes.
Your life has taken a dramatic turn just 2 months ago. Actually, it was Boxing Day, the day after Christmas. And we don't have much time, but we really want you to share this story. What happened?
Okay, so I woke up Boxing Day morning, and I didn't have any headaches or anything. I had a few seizures. And I knew there were seizures because my sister-in-law has epilepsy.
And you'd never had seizures before.
No.
But you had seizures Boxing Day.
I did, and they were back to back within minutes apart. The last two were the worst. The last I will mention, I was at the top of my stairs, which are about 15 flights.
15 steps.
Right, I'd walked up, and when I got to the top, I fell backwards down the flights, and I did 2 flips. I was still aware of what was going on. So I flipped twice, and I landed on the top of my head, and then my neck just kind of went over. I was rushed to emergency, and there they had, hours later, they had come and told me that my blood was okay, and my X-ray, and I did a CT. They didn't tell me about the CT scan yet, and my back was fine, and there was no damage due to the impact of the fall. And they said, however, we did find a large tumor growing on the left side of your brain that is now hemorrhaging.
And that was the cause of the seizures, was it? Or?
Exactly.
Yes, okay.
So they rushed you immediately to another hospital where they performed surgery.
Yes,
that
they did.
day.
Yeah, my family was with me, but I didn't even have a second to hug them goodbye. I was immediately rushed. I was very scared. I was very scared.
Of course you were.
Yes, and but I just kept, I hung on to Jesus, and just I was constantly saying, I need you here with me. And he truly just brought me through that surgery. And just before I went under, I was full of fear, and I called his name, and I felt him, and he just brought me through against all odds. No eye loss, no, speech problems. No, I'm just better than I was before.
Yeah, you are a miracle.
Yeah.
This is our month of miracles. This February
I know.
month, and your story is. I think we have a couple of pictures as well.
From the hospital.
Yeah. So this is right after surgery.
This is right after surgery. There was a lot of people in my room, and I knew who they were just by their voices, and I finally got to open my eyes. And so when I opened my eyes, I didn't even know there was 38 staples in my head here, by the way.
Wow.
I just kind of looked into the camera. So a friend of mine was taking a picture, and I said, I was kind of like, I made it.
Thumbs
Thumbs
up.
up.
Thumbs up, yeah. This is the man that God sent to perform the surgery, and who saved my life. He didn't, but God did through him.
Through him.
Yes, and this was his first visit with me in my hospital room.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a great story. You're looking great now, lots of energy.
Thank you.
And you feeling
Thank
fine
you.
otherwise?
I do, yes. I'm taking a lot of healthy products and a lot of natural products and eating organic and just a lot of changes, but I feel amazing, and just the love in me that I have for my new walk with God is beyond what I could have ever imagined. It wasn't something that I ever imagined I would feel, the love. I'm in love with God this
And
time.
so going through that dark time, you already had a relationship with Jesus, but this just enriched it and deepened it. And that's the bottom line, is it? That we need to just be walking in relationship with God, because we don't know which direction our life is going to turn. But when it does, He is there, as He was with you and continues to be. He's with us.
He is, and it's sometimes He just has to shake us up,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for dropping by to share
Thank
your
you.
story. I know you're putting your story down in a book form, and
Yes.
that'll be coming out
Your
at some point.
memoirs, and
Yes.
So God bless you. In
Yes.
this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All
Thank you so much. And just remember, you can give us a call on our prayer lines if you have a need. Maybe you're going through a health challenge right now. Give us a call. We'd love to pray with you. You'll see the number throughout this hour. All right? Stay tuned. Truth to Go coming up.